morning, everyone. Welcome to, oh wow, I've already lost track. I don't know, day 5 maybe of 50 days to 50. It's hard to say. Doesn't really matter. We're doing 50 of them. I am so excited to bring on a person who is new in my life, but she's new in my life because she just finished up taking the Rediscover Your Spark retreat with me over the last 6 weeks. So let's bring my friend Jayne Cote to the screen. Hello, Jayne.
Hi, Dana.
Thank you
How
so much for joining me on this.
you're welcome. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Good. That's the right thing. If you'd said to me, boy, I'm really dreading it, that would have been a harder conversation to get through. We were talking before we went on about the common themes that are sort of already starting to emerge with just a few conversations and then the individual pieces. So I'm looking forward to adding your common and unique perspective to this conversation as we continue down this 50-day path of insights that people have taken from this pretty significant milestone transition from 49 to 50, which I think everybody feels in one way or another because 50 feels like a whole different ballgame for whatever reason. Do you agree with that?
I do. It's a half 100. I mean, you think about it. It's
Yeah.
and it's kind of like you're thinking, oh, am I in the tail? Am I in downward end of my life?
Yeah. I definitely do feel like you can't say that you're probably still going this
I-
way. At best, you're this way, and you
Right.
might be this way. And there is something a little grave about that, not to use a
Grave,
pun on words.
but yet exciting because you're more knowledgeable.
Yes. Yes. So that's a great way to start this. Let me ask you this question. What are one or two of the most important lessons you learned in the first 50 years that have proven valuable post 50?
Ooh, that I learned beforehand. I would say to take take those moments that you really treasure and really treasure them. You know,
Oh,
be there for them. I mean, especially I'm thinking of my kids, raising the kids and being with them and embracing that because after 50, mine were gone,
yep.
so you have to, you want to hold on to those as long as you can. And just to take those little moments, it doesn't have to be anything big. It can be playing out in a sandbox. It's just taking those little moments and really enjoying them.
Boy, that's a great reminder. I remember when Quinn was really young and it was just the two of us. I remember reading somewhere the phrase, the days are long, but the years are short. And I think that you can't really understand that when you're in the middle of
No,
active baby toddler parenting, because boy, if you got to watch one more episode of Blue's Clues, or you got to
right.
read the same book one more time or whatever, it feels tedious in a lot of ways. And yet it's shocking to realize, all right, I'm 49 years old. I've been an empty nester for 8 years.
Yeah.
Those years flew by, just flew by.
Yes, yes. No, no, I do. I loved being a parent. I love being with kids and stuff. So I do. I mean, I miss it greatly, but now I'm lucky I've got grandkids, not
You got
close by.
grandbabies. Yes.
Yes, yes. So, but it's a different, you don't have those same stressors. You don't have to worry about the money, the meals, the, day-to-day everything that you're trying to fit in and stuff. And I think that's a huge thing about 50 is I've got a lot of time, and that
Yeah.
time I can use for me the way I want to use it and hopefully in a more constructive way.
Yeah, absolutely. As I have been working through various kinds of things that I'm trying to free up and set down and all of that, I realize that you can invest wisely or you can invest foolishly with your time, because having it only matters if you're doing something useful with it. And
Right.
you don't have to be useful every moment of the day, but boy, you want to get to the end of the day and have more reflection of, boy, I really did something good today with my time, as opposed to, I scrolled through Facebook for 4 hours today. Not maybe always the best use of time.
No, not at all. No, and I also think that with wisdom or with that age, you have less restrictions on yourself. You're free to try newer things, maybe a little more risk.
Uh-huh.
You
Yep.
know, I feel more confident in myself, so I'm not worried about what that other person's thinking of what I'm doing, or are they doubting me? So should I doubt myself? I think
Yeah.
that all comes with that age. I mean, just
Yep.
life experience,
Yep.
and
Yeah. Yesterday, my dear friend Asni Daniels was on, and she talked about having had breast cancer at 39, and that what that did for her is it sort of put the finiteness of life into a very immediate position in her life. And she realized, oh my gosh, how much time am I going to give to what other people think when I now understand that time is a limited thing? And it
right.
just changed everything for her. And I think it would be great to not have to have something that substantial happen to realize it, but to just stop. And again, to go back to this conversation of, we're not exactly on the climbing end of time anymore. We're either plateauing or declining. So you better use that time as well as you possibly can.
Yes, most definitely. And oh, I lost my thought here for a minute. And you also appreciate more of the little things,
Mm,
that come up.
yeah.
And life is one of them. Yeah, I lost both my parents. Within a period of 7 years, I lost 10 people,
Oh my
10
gosh,
deaths
Jane.
that totally kind of destroyed me in a way. But I'd
Yeah.
always been a person who took care of everybody else,
Oh, yeah.
and just did that. But so then I turned around and now learning with age and little wisdom and clarity, learning to take care of me first, and then I would be a lot better off for everybody else. And I've learned to set limitations, boundaries.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry, that was a weird
No,
yeah.
it's all right.
Um, I think so often Dr. Mary talks on Daily Dose about that lesson he learned in rehab about you got to put your own oxygen mask on first. There's a reason they say that on airplanes. And it's not just that you're more important to anybody else, it's that you can't be of service to anybody else if you're not taking care of yourself.
Yes, yeah. No, and I remember back in the days, even raising my kids, I always tell them, good choices bring good results. You
Mm,
know, and it's true. It's true. And so then um I made some bad choices,
haven't
and
we all?
and they didn't bring good results. Perfect example of it. But now I'm making those choices, and I'm making more for me than for anyone else. So, um and I'll just say it, in sobriety, I am just the happiest person I've ever been.
Well, I I love that. I love that that's how I first came to know you. I so appreciate the journey that you have been on, Jane. It's you have been one of the bright sparks in Daily Dose because you reached out to us so early on. And when we talk about knowing that we have helped some people, you are in that list. So I'm
Most
so ecstatic to see you and to see the success that you have achieved, not because of us, but with us.
With you, most definitely. And as you were a catalyst, and I think you're a catalyst to more, because when I found you, it was COVID.
Yeah.
It was pandemic. I mean, there was nothing else, to connect me with anyone to really of substance. So it was good to hear just your insight and other people as you had guests on,
Mhm.
and stuff. It was a strength. And I think for any person, they don't have to have an addiction. For any person, I wish I shared your website all over the place.
Well, that means a lot to me. It really does. And so to have gotten to know you now in all these other ways and to see your own journey has just been amazing. And so I was thrilled when you said yes to joining us, to joining me on this conversation. So let's move on to another question, Jane. What do you know now? And maybe you've touched on this a little bit, but what do you know now that you didn't know before you turned 50?
I would say the biggest thing is setting boundaries,
Mm,
because I was a people pleaser to an extent. I mean, I would, stick to my values, but I had a hard time saying no.
well, you're a Midwestern girl at birth. You don't live in the
Nice, right?
Midwest now, but it's hard to shake that good girl mindset that we are all raised with here.
Yeah, and so I've learned to set boundaries, and and if there's something I'm really not sure how to say no to, I've gotten really good at saying I'll prayerfully consider it. There's really no
Wow.
response to that from the other
Yeah, right.
person. Well, she's thinking about it. I'm not going to push the issue, and then I
Yeah.
will think about it and I'll go back and address it, but I don't in the moment say yes. But so I think the boundaries, and that's through my personal life, through work, through everything. And even my growth.
Yeah.
I can reach for the stars, but I've got to have those little baby steps first to get there.
Well, I'm gonna say that I am a fairly impetuous responder. And I often say yes and then think, oh my gosh, why did I say yes to that? So I'm going to hope that I've got, I don't know, about 44 days or something to evolve from yes to let me consider that and I'll
Yeah.
get back to you. That's a great goal for me to set for myself, and maybe for other people watching too, because it's easy to say yes and hard to get out of it once you have. So
Hmm.
I love that. Um, if you could give yourself, your younger self, Jayne, any advice, what would you give to yourself, or what would you give? Let's say there's a 25-year-old watching this right now. What advice would you give that person that you now know?
I guess it has to do with time. Don't rush everything.
Mm,
Don't, I mean, especially when I say with your family and with your kids, don't rush it. It goes by so fast, and just treasure. I mean, you have a day off. Don't rush, get the house clean, get this done, get this done, get this done, get this done. It's like we're always on the go.
yeah,
Say, okay, that's all right. The dust is going to sit there. Let's go out and play. Let's go read a book,
yeah.
walk in the park.
When my younger brother was born 45 years ago, my grandma made my mom uh, cr- um, crocheted needlepoint probably thing that showed a mother rocking a baby, and it said, cleaning and scrubbing can wait till tomorrow, for babies grow up, we've learned to our sorrow. So quiet down cobwebs and dust, go to sleep, I'm rocking my baby and babies don't keep. And I just remember reading that clearly over and over and over again, that it still lives in my brain. But it's so true. And if you don't have kids yet or ever,
Right.
um, everything goes that fast.
It do.
Your
You do.
professional life, your dating life, your friends. I mean, we lose people and things and opportunities along the way because we often are in too much of a rush and
Well,
we
and
miss.
then you end up with regrets. I didn't.
Yeah,
I meant to do this, but you know,
yeah.
uh, and I can say I have a few of those. I mean, I have a picture that I was always going to ask my mom about,
Mm.
and I never did. So I'll never, ever, ever have an answer to this. Why I was wearing the same Christmas dress 2 years in a row. I'm just so curious.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't change size, nothing. I mean, why would I be? I'm just kind of confused by that, but I never took the time to discuss that, I guess. But yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah,
no, I would say just take that time for everybody and just slow it down if you can.
yeah. Yeah, and let the dust accumulate. Who the hell cares?
That's
I
exactly,
could
and
give two hoots about
yeah,
dust.
yeah, and money isn't everything. I mean, it's just not everything. It's
Yeah,
not everything.
absolutely. All right, Jayne, here's your last question. What's been the most joyful aspect since you turned 50 going forward?
I, I'd have to say, I guess my sobriety would have to
Yeah,
be it, because I mean, wasn't drinking that long. I was very serene for quite a while in my life when my kids were young,
yeah,
and I don't know where it all flipped around, but I would say 54ish, 55 maybe, is when I started to drink, and to regain that clarity, that sobriety, the the oh, the courage to change my life in a drastic way that'll benefit me in the long run. You know, as I think I said to you before, my life wasn't horrible before. I could go on status quo, but am I happy? No. There's
yeah,
more out there for me, and I know it, and I'm going to find it. It's
yeah.
just going to be
Well,
in a
I
different way.
Absolutely. I just want to say, because I think this is sort of the first time you've gone really public with your um, alcohol journey. So I just want to acknowledge that, because it is not an easy thing to reveal. And I think based on our experience, it's scarier to think about than to do, but it's not easy to do. So I
Yeah.
want to acknowledge that you've done it here, Jayne, and to just congratulate you again and support you in that. And know that there's probably somebody watching this who needed to hear that today. So thank you for sharing that piece.
Oh,
And then all the rest of it, time, take time. That's what I heard you really
that,
reflecting on today, is
yeah, yeah,
take the time you need and recognize that time is moving. So
yeah.
don't take so much time that it passes you
It
by.
is because, yeah, you lose people and they're gone forever and you can't get that back. And
No,
I
you
think
cannot.
that's what really hit me really hard. And I wish I would have cherished those times with those, the best friend and the mom, the dad, my baby brother. I mean, all of those. It's just, yeah, that's my biggest thing that wish I could get back, but I can't.
Yeah. Well, Jayne, thank you for joining me. This was
Yes,
delightful. As always, I really appreciate you um, saying yes and showing
yes.
up.
Well, thanks for asking. And I look forward to meeting you in person.
I know. I can't wait when you move back to Fargo, you
There
fool.
you
You fool.
go. Will do.
All right, everybody else, we'll see you tomorrow at 11. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Yeah, bye bye.